So now we have rain. No snow, no sun, rain. Seattle day. Actually, it's really not rainy right now. Beautiful, beautiful thunderstorm came through last night, and I love thunderstorms. Although they wake me up constantly, I do love them. There's something about the feel of a thunderstorm. They're refreshing and energy changing and shifting in so many different ways. And it just, I don't know. It feels very cleansing, very appropriate, definitely for this time of the year as we roll into March this next week. For as many of you know who have followed me, I count March as my new year. March 1st is actually my January 1st. January and February, who needs those months, right? They're still just the months that you just kind of figure your shit out. Don't worry about it. Just keep plugging along till you get to March 1st and then tackle the world. At least that's how I choose to look at it. So as we roll into March 1st, I was kind of just thinking about all the different avenues that are happening in my life and some of the lessons that I have learned just recently. And as I was telling my partner just moments ago, and I said, oh my gosh, I have learned so much in the last 24 hours alone. And it's just a wealth of knowledge coming to me, and I am in total gratitude for that wealth of knowledge. But my message to you today is, where's your wealth of knowledge? Is your wealth of knowledge coming through? Are you aware? Are you woke to it? Or are you still just walking around blind to everything and saying, oh no, it's not that way, it's not this way? Where are you at in your process called life? So today's topic is compassion, grace, and perception in reality in relationships. So these are the things that have come up for me personally in the last few days. And a lot of people think, oh, those coaches, mentors, educators out there, they've got their shit all figured out. Everything's always perfect. They know how to do relationship perfect. They've got their money figured out perfect. They've got their health figured out perfect. They're great with time management. It's just everything's perfect in their life. And that's a bunch of malarkey. It's bullshit. We don't have our worlds figured out. We are just aware. As educators, mentors, and coaches out there, we are aware. If we're good at what we do, we stay aware to our own inner bullshit. And that is exactly where I've been over the course of this year, is really looking at my own inner bullshit. And over the last 24 to 48 hours, I would say that I have definitely hit just this popping point of that right there. And some of the things that have come about is, hey, I need to have more compassion for myself. I need to give a little bit of grace to myself. And guess what? You do too. Because you know what I figured out this morning? We're having coffee. We're sitting in front of the fire. Here's the intimacies of my life, right? It's 5:30 a.m. Actually, I think it was like 5 o'clock in the morning because we woke up early from the storm and just not sleeping very well with that. And we went out and we had coffee, our morning coffee, sitting on the couch in front of the fire, snuggling and everything, when I really have this awakening to the fact that I've put myself on a pedestal. I put myself on this pedestal, and I did it to myself. But I did it with the thought process that I was expected to be there. And it's just like this moment for me of, well, why? Why would I do that? Why do I have myself on this pedestal? And how the heck do I get off of it, right? I want to have this humanness, this rawness in my relationship, in my life, with my clients, with you, with everything, because that is living in integrity. That is that authentic relating that I think we all really want. But you know what it requires? Number one, getting the fuck off the pedestal. Number two, to get off the pedestal, we have to have compassion and grace for ourselves. What does that look like? That means that we soften around our humanness, around our mistakes, around not getting it right all the time. And the perception that we have to get it right. The perception that we are never enough or we're too much. That's a scary place to be. It puts us in the land of scarcity. It puts us in the land of fear. It puts us up with our armor, where we go into the defense when we don't have to be in the defense. And that was my awakening this morning, was, wow, I've allowed myself to believe these old programs where I wasn't allowed at different times in my life as a little girl, like not wanting to get it wrong. Virgo here, have to get everything just perfect, wanting to keep everything in order, in its place, not wanting to mess up, not wanting to have mistakes, beating myself up over the slightest little error and just condemning myself. Well, that is kind of rising up right now for me. As life changes, as the winds of change roll through with spring coming in, I've had to kind of grasp that, hey, it's okay. It's okay to, get this, be human. So I ask you, because I want to keep this limited. In truth, my phone is about ready to die, so I have to keep it limited. But I ask you, where in your world are you not giving yourself compassion? Where are you not loving yourself? Where are you buying into your bullshit that you have to be this way or that way in order to hold love, in order to get love, in order to have money, in order to keep money? Where are you limiting your belief that you are worthy without having to do all this other stuff? Where are you still buying into the bullshit that you're not good enough, and that you have to earn it, that you can't just receive it, that it's not your God-given right to receive love, abundance, health, peace, joy, happiness? Why are you sabotaging yourself? And what are those little key points in definitely your relationship? Because I can tell you what, our relationships, especially our most intimate ones, they will bring up to the surface everything that we have challenges with. Those old programs from our childhood, the programs from past relationships, the programs that we get from society, from religion, from state, from school, from our next door neighbor, it doesn't much matter, from Aunt Jean a million years ago. All of those things come up in our intimate relationships. So I want you to really, truly look at the people that are closest to you, your closest friends, your intimate partners. Maybe it's your children, maybe it's your mother. Who do you talk to the most? Who do you lean in with the most? Who do you believe that you're being really authentic with? That you'd say, no, I am in integrity with this person. And I question you to really ask, am I? Am I really surrendered in this relationship? Or am I actually setting forth with this perception that I still need to be this way or that way? I'm too much, I'm not enough, better do this, don't get that wrong. What are those background thoughts? And then I want you to feel into your body. And I want you to feel, where am I holding that? I want you to feel that. Because chances are you're going to feel constriction in the place that you are holding that emotion in your physical body. Now, when you tune into that constriction, well, some of you are going to hate me, but I'm going to tell you, breathe. Breathe into it. But it's more than breathing. It's breathing and giving yourself grace. So what does grace mean? Grace is another word for compassion, another word for love, another word for letting yourself off the hook just a little bit, right? That grace that God gives us for being human, for making mistakes. The grace that we should give our children for making mistakes, having different opinions. That's the same grace that you have to give to yourself. But it's really hard to do, right? Well, it is hard to do, but it is so worth it. I ask you, what's more challenging? What's the tougher path? What's the path that's going to cause you more suffering? The path of giving yourself grace, of giving yourself that integrity with who you really are, speaking your authentic truth, even though it's scary as fuck to do, to step into that, to exert that kind of faith. Now, is that going to cause you a whole rattling of your cage? More than likely. But is it better than looking around and living in fear and living with all the bullshit and the constants of having to get it right? It's your choice. It's always your choice. Each one of us can choose bondage or unshackling ourselves. I vote for unshackling. I vote for faith-based living. I vote for getting the fuck into alignment with soul, with core, right? And becoming unavailable for all that other bull out there. speaking of unavailable for bullshit, launching. You're going to see coming up in the comments section a link to Unavailable for the Bullshit. This is an 8-week course, okay? So this is going out to you guys starting. It's a new session program for 8 weeks where we are going to dive deep for 8 weeks starting April 1st into 8 areas where you can fully release the bullshit of your life. We're going to deal with mindset. We're going to deal with your sex. We're going to deal with relationship. We're going to deal with money. We're going to deal with your health. We're going to deal with your career, with the choices that you're making, your pleasure, your desires, your values, your beliefs, and all the other areas that you are accepting too little and not enough, all at the same time. So click on the link on that. And remember, you're worthy of a life worth living. You are worthy of thriving, of abundance, of love, of joy, of happiness, of wealth and health, and living unbound. I love you guys. I'll catch you tomorrow with another Conscious Coffee. As always, stop existing, start living, and I'll see you tomorrow.